Greetings. This is my second video in a series that I don't know where it's going, but I wanted to share with you a little bit about myself because it might shed some light on the reasons why I'm doing this and help me focus a little bit. So I was born in the United States some 68 years ago, and I lived there until late 2007 with a brief stint in Denmark working for a national laboratory there. So I think looking at the current situation in the world, I'm saddened, but on the other hand, not really surprised by what's going on. We're living in unprecedented times, although you can say that for about any age. But everything is happening very quickly now. With the internet, with rapid electronic communication, we're living in an age where everything is happening so quickly that it's impossible to take it all in, especially if you spend a lot of time on the internet, looking at the news, participating in social media. And I think this has caused a lot of angst in our society. And I'd like to address the concept of community and communion and connectedness. I think that before the internet, there was more connectedness in the sense of genuine connectedness compared to today. We like to talk about communities now, like the rock climbing community and the camping community or the sewing community. What does that really mean? Today it means that you share an interest with someone on the internet and they may be halfway around the world, and you can post videos such as this one about your common interest and how to do things, which is fine. That's very nice. It's very helpful. You can learn to cook better, sew better, what have you. Tips and tricks, we might call it. But is it really a community in the old-fashioned sense? I don't think so. Community in the old days meant your fellow churchgoers or your neighbors. We used to talk more with our neighbors face to face. We didn't have the ability to connect with someone across the world and share their interest. In spite of the fact that your neighbor might not have much in common with you, but perhaps we were a little bit more civil to each other. We spoke with each other more directly. We saw their face, their reactions. It was very interactive in a sense that we don't have now across the web. So I question this, and many people have commented on how isolated we are now in our modern age compared to prior days, prior to the internet. So I won't go into much detail about this. However, I wonder about other things that it has produced, that this sense of isolation has produced in our society. I hate to be so negative about it, and maybe it's just a crotchety old man whining about the younger generation. I'm sure there's a part of it in my case, but I do have memories of what it was like before the internet, especially during my youth. And I'm not saying that that youth was any better than today's youth, but I think it has some major ramifications on the macro scale that we are seeing in our political and societal systems. We often think that they're breaking down. I don't know if they're breaking down, but they're certainly mutating. And this is having a deleterious effect on many people. And the gap between rich and poor, for example, has been growing in my native land. And it's becoming more like some of these so-called third world countries. I visited the country of Honduras back in 2006, where I saw a huge gap between rich and poor there. And this led to enclaves where the rich would hide away, and they would put barbed wire and broken glass on top of their high fences to prevent intrusion from thieves or other criminals. So I haven't been back to the United States since 2007, so maybe I'm not the best judge of what's occurring today. Of course, I look at the news, I check social media, and so I have some conception through the filtering of other people on social media and the media, of course, which is biased. And I'm not encouraged by the way things have gone since I departed the United States. And I think there's something else going on that is to blame for our current woes in our political systems. And like George Carlin said, politicians come from our society, from our schools, from our churches. And so he didn't blame the politicians. They're a symptom, not a cause. And I really agree with that. It seems like we're hacking at the branches when we try to change our politicians every few years. It's a mantra. Every time we come up to an election, we say the mantra of change. We need change. Well, that hasn't really worked, has it? And of course, politicians will tell us these platitudes. And because I think our education levels and our intelligence, especially our emotional intelligence, have declined, and there are many causes for that I won't go into on this video, but we believe them. There are so many people that are credulous with the slightest evidence. And like, for example, eating the cats and dogs. I don't know how people can vote for someone who is saying such absurd things. It's fear. I think the root cause of all of this is fear. It creates all of the other emotions: envy, greed, aggression. And so in order to really see a change in our politics and in our society, to make it a fairer and more just society, we need to change the human heart. Each individual, or enough individuals, need to have a change in heart and work at the grassroots level initially, and then working our way up to our political institutions. And everything that I say here is based on my trajectory in life, my experience, or at least I try to speak based on that rather than the opinions of others. But of course, I'm influenced by others' opinions just like anybody else. Most of our ideas are not our own. They're not original. So, what do we do to change the human heart? Religion has tried to deal with this subject with varying degrees of success. Spirituality, alternative spirituality, if you want to call it that, has tried to attack this problem. But it's a real thorny issue, really difficult. And that's why a top-down approach, a systems approach, all the isms, capitalism, communism, hedonism, whatever, have had very limited success, I think, in this arena. And so, difficult problems require difficult solutions. And in a capitalist society, solutions are, let's face it, require a certain amount of money, because money is energy and money represents support for a certain cause. So I invite you to think about these things and tell me what you think so that maybe I can focus this discussion. It's very freewheeling. It's almost like my stream of consciousness has sprung a leak, and maybe I need to plug it now and then. But on the internet, everyone has a voice. And we thought this would be a wonderful thing when the internet was born, that the media and the powers that be will not be the only entities that have a voice. Well, we've had the internet now for over 30 years, and I think that's part of the problem. Everybody has a voice, and there's so much noise in the signal to noise ratio. It's really increased. And how do you distinguish the wheat from the chaff? That's a real challenge today. This is how conspiracy theories are born, out of fear and distrust of our institutions. Not that those institutions should be trusted blindly, because we've seen the effect of that in the past, where people trust the government too much. So, I don't know, bringing us back to a balance of powers. For example, in the United States, where we had a balance or more balance of power between the trade unions and the government and the corporations, and now it seems like corporate America has been too successful. We've overcome communism, and now capitalism reigns with all its flaws. And I don't know if there's a better system than capitalism. Maybe we just need to alter capitalism to make it a little kinder and fairer. So that's it for now. I welcome your opinions, and I hope to hear from you, because these are serious issues. I've kind of voted with my feet and changed my personal situation. And everybody is out for themselves, really. If it comes right down to it, if you look at altruism, ultimately you'll find that everybody is acting out of self-interest. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, as long as it doesn't become out of balance. For example, with regard to ego, many people consider ego as a bad word, a pejorative term. But I see ego as another arena for balance. It's like the tightrope walker. You have too much ego, you become arrogant, narcissistic. If you have too little ego, you're self-deprecatory, and you are prone to depression and self-loathing in the extreme. So I like to attack it, as the Buddha said, in most cases by taking the middle way. So I hope that provokes your thought a little bit, and you're welcome to give me your input in the comments, and maybe we'll continue to have this discussion in the future. Ciao for now.